Welcome to another episode of TDGS Reviews. We are doing a review on Euphoria once again, episode 3. This is Ruminations, Big and Little Bullies. Okay, and I'm with the usual gang here. How y'all doing? How you doing, Harry? How you doing, Jenna? How you doing,
Hi.
Asia? What's going
Hi.
on?
Good. Making
Good.
it, surviving.
Yes, yeah, this year. I mean, I don't know. I think this is a good.
No,
No,
Yeah. You ain't we not scratching in for surviving. It's not good times. But it's
yeah.
we're
we making
manifesting positive vibes.
it.
Oh, nah, I'm blurry. Anyway, so what was your initial thoughts of episode 3? Let's
This
get.
was the best episode of the season so far.
I
I
told
was a
you.
Mm,
little confused. Like, I feel like every episode I watch, I'm like, okay, what the fuck did I just watch? Or like, I feel like I have to rewatch it again
mm-hmm.
because this season I feel like is so different than the other one. Where I think
Yeah,
maybe because they've already introduced the characters we know, like the main characters, but this one it feels like it's way more ensemble, and we focus on way more characters per episode than we did before.
mm,
But I also left this episode. They were like, "Oh, we're trying to explain Cal's background." I was like, "Okay." So I watched his background. I loved how it's shot. I always love how these episodes are shot. But I
mm-hmm.
was like, "Okay, so he's gay, bisexual. Loki got trapped into a relationship with Nate's mom. How does that add up to him non-consensually filming and purposely seeking out young boys and young trans women
I
to
think it's
like
more of like a power
aggressively?"
grab,
Mm-hmm.
like to
Yeah.
take his power back because he kind of lost that when his girl got pregnant.
But he
Because
went
I
too
feel
far.
like if that woman would have never got pregnant, then he would have lived in his truth in college and just been closeted.
But
Because
that's
I don't
that's
think,
But
that
yeah.
that's
was
not the
just
reason you be a good like you be a decent,
Oh, I'm not
wholesome
justifying
human
it. I'm
being.
just saying.
You get what I'm saying?
yeah, I just
Yeah.
think I was like there wasn't enough explanation as to where it went super left. Like, okay, you're gay or you're bi and you in the closet. Tons of people in the closet, but not a lot of people do what he's doing. Like,
I think it was
And
also
yeah.
his
a pullback
relationship with his
of.
dad too.
Well, I
I
So
think it
thought
was a
that was gonna be
it
like,
was part of it was a relationship with his father, and a part of it is a relationship with his like lover situation. What was the name? Boyfriend Derek.
yeah.
Like he was kind of because remember before that when he told his friend that he was doing cunnilingus on his girlfriend, he was like, I would
Mm-hmm.
never do that, and you couldn't pay me to do that. And then they had like this wrestling match together, and he was like overly aggressive. It seemed like he was being overly aggressive for no reason.
And then he made that
Um,
comment about
right,
eating, yeah,
right.
going
and he
down.
eyed down his girlfriend. He like was like, "I see
Yes.
you, bitch."
So is Derek
Boom.
gay too, or just
Well, it's obvious that he was gay. He was the one that had
Yeah.
told him
He
about the
had the
gay
plug to
club
the
or the
gay
gay bar,
bar.
I should say,
oh,
and
But you see what
yeah,
Derek seemed more like Cal now. You get what I'm saying? Like he
yeah.
could have, because I feel like there could have been more to their story. Like I felt like they definitely still was messing around after the events that happened in that little
Yeah.
backstory. Because yeah, it's at first I thought that was Cal. I thought Derek was Cal at one point. I'm like, okay, yeah, because you acting like this, okay, it makes sense. But
Mhm.
no, first of all, I didn't know who the man was. I didn't know. I always knew him. We call him Nate Dad. So I'm like,
Like
who these white
Yeah.
boys up in here? These new characters, like,
Wait, whose episode is it next? Because they usually tell us, but
so
like
next episode um is I don't know
Ruse,
exactly whose it
maybe?
is.
we
Ruse?
doing Rue again,
Not
girl.
Because
Now we're
wasn't
doing
she in the
Root
back?
again.
Wasn't she in the backseat of the car and she was like, "I hope Jules doesn't find out." I feel like in the next coming episodes, we're gonna find out what the hell goes down with the fact that we gave a drug addict $10,000
She's
worth
not
of
selling
drugs.
them drugs.
decisions,
She's doing
decisions.
them.
We'll get into that though. We'll get into that. I don't want to. I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? I want to circle back.
Rue,
Because
girl.
I'm
Yeah.
terrified for old
Right.
girl.
The way
Yes.
she
Like I don't
casually
know who
threatened her, that
convinced.
was
I don't know
crazy.
what
Okay.
convinced this white woman, drug dealer, kingpin to like. Well, yeah, we said we are gonna get into it later, but it just doesn't make sense.
We'll get into it because I have my own issues with that when we talk about Rue. But to circle back on Cal, like, and I think we talked about this on live, Jen. I think and Harry, like we talk about like what do
Hmm.
y'all think about the show kind of humanizing Cal? Like,
Yes.
are
Mm-mm.
y'all feeling it? Are y'all
No.
like, oh,
It,
Well, I
I
don't
feel
think it. I
Oh,
don't think it justifies it, but every villain has an origin story, so I guess it is what it is.
I feel like
But
it
I
was necessary to understand
yeah.
and to like get more context into why he is the way he is, because we got just a touch of like, okay, his dad treated him shitty, so he's gonna do the same to Nate, because that's usually how people operate. Like they operate based off what their parents taught them, and they can
Right.
only move farther beyond that. And also we got like, okay, how did he arrive at this point in his sexuality and all that good stuff. But it felt conflicting to watch because it's like you were rooting for them. You're like, oh my god, they kissed. Like
Yeah, like I felt weird.
finally. I was like, oh my god, this is so cute. Then you're like, this is Cal Jacobs, Mr.
Yeah.
McNasty,
That's what I mean.
Hmm.
Like there
raping
wasn't
bitches in this
enough.
hotel room. Like,
Oh
Like
my god.
there just wasn't enough like okay, I just feel like okay, we get the backstory, which we all low key knew he was gay and in the
yeah,
Hmm.
closet, and probably there's a reason he couldn't be out. But like I think his backstory was more so like with people theorizing everything. People, I felt like it was probably gonna set up what's gonna happen to Nate and everything like that, and just
Mm.
say he's gonna be just like his dad. So it's like that. I didn't feel bad for him because it's like, yeah, but you do a little. What you do is illegal
Yeah.
yeah,
filming people. I mean, if you're doing this, you could just tell them that. There'd be some people that'd be fine with it.
yeah.
But you just unconsensually and not even taking the time to like background check to see if these people are underage. So it kind of feels like you don't care if they are underage. He cares if
And the
he
way
gets
he has
caught.
sex with them, it's not like, oh, let's go
It
into
was
this. It's
so
like
violent. I was like, oh,
basically rape. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
ooh, what's going
basically
on?
it's not even like
I was giving pedo vibes.
remotely pleasurable, or it doesn't seem remotely pleasurable for the other person.
Hmm.
It's not because Jules threw up,
Mm.
and then he just like put it in his hand.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yes,
Oh my
that was
god.
that's I would remember in the first season when we just the way this kid, I don't know, maybe I watch it on the HBO Max app, so I
Hmm.
don't see any ads. Are there like commercials on the channel?
They
no, I
play
No,
it on
I
the
think
watch it
channel,
on HBO Max as
but
well.
you know what? HBO channel they don't. I mean they play it full through. I don't think they have
But that's
commercial
what I
breaks.
mean, like the way this is like edited, and you get those scenes where it's like, oh, Jules and Cal having sex, or just random penises. I feel like it's shot where before that scene there's supposed to be a commercial, but when
Hmm.
you just watch it without, you just sitting there like, oh, what's going on? Just everything just feels like it's happening at once.
Scene after
It's
scene after
too
scene
much,
after
too
scene
much.
after
Like we're
scene.
supposed to get a break.
Yes, I feel like I need a break. I feel
But
like
on
I need like a
HBO,
good two
but
minutes.
HBO doesn't have commercials. Even the channel HBO doesn't have
HBO finna
commercials.
make you
Oh,
sit through that whole
Yeah,
pit.
they just that
HBO
just
has
seems
commercials in
wrong.
between shows, but
Yeah.
HBO doesn't have commercials through the show.
No, they
Um,
need to add some for this because
No, but
Sam
imagine you come
she
Levinson's.
back
needs
from a
a mental break.
commercial. You come back from a commercial about freaking Kohl's or McDonald's, and it's like, dick,
Oh, good
dick,
heavens!
dot. Like,
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that before we got on. I'm just like, oh, I mean, like the peen kind of calmed down the last episode, but it went right back up this one. I'm like, dang,
yeah,
every
Sam
step of the
Levinson,
way.
why he do
And
this?
it was just, it
Why?
didn't seem necessary. It just seemed
Exactly.
exactly,
unnecessary for this much. And I'm not,
Exactly.
and like even I was saying this yesterday when we were on live. I don't see the reason for any of it. Not just full frontal
exactly.
male nudity. I don't need to see titties and labia either. Like I'm okay on it all. Like
Hmm.
Exactly. But the
I like, is
first,
it pertinent to the conversation
for
of
real,
these characters?
the first shot of this episode was his ass. He's
Yeah,
pulling. I was like, why?
I
Why?
was like,
Like,
whoa.
why are we doing this?
And
Like, I
I
don't
actually
get the
I
point.
reacted to like the first 5 minutes on live, then I got off because something happened to my live. Um, so I'm over here watching the people on here, and I said, "Whoa, okay, so we gonna start there?" Like I'm like, "Oh my god!"
For
Like,
real.
whoa, you
Sam
cannot give
Levinson,
it up that
like,
easy, Sam.
can we just, but imagine that's why when the actors who are like the extras playing these people, it's like they can't even have their families watch one of their major acting roles because it's like, yeah, it's just my ass and
Yeah, I
everything's
would
out.
never.
I can't. I can't. And then seeing one thing I did like about Cal's backstory is the mom, I don't know what her name was. She was a freak, but now you want to judge Maddie. But she was a freak
Mm.
who birth control
Yeah,
didn't
she was
work
out here fucking
with the toes.
penis. Well, she was trying to get her toes stuck. When she was out here sucking penis while driving, girl,
And
you're
how many kids?
dangerous.
How many kids they got? How many kids they got? Nate. They got.
Three.
They have. I don't
Two.
think they had two.
And we had
They have
two
three.
because
They
one
have
ran away.
three. Who's
Three
the third one?
boys.
Three boys.
Yeah, because
Who?
remember, everybody thinks Ashtray is Nate's younger brother that we
Yeah,
haven't
people
seen
saying that
yet.
on TikTok.
Yeah, I don't think that's true, but they have three kids.
Okay.
But who's the third
Who's
one?
the third?
We haven't seen him. Maybe he went missing or died or something. They didn't explain. Even
Oh,
the
I don't
Oh,
remember this
actors
third
don't
one.
even
They
know.
really said three. Did they actually say three?
There's a picture, a family picture of them
now is
with the
Nate the
three
oldest?
boys.
no. Dylan looked older than him, I thought.
Dylan,
Uh,
Nate, and then the
I think I
one
thought
we
Nate
don't
was the
see.
youngest one.
Nah, I thought he was in the middle.
Um,
I don't see this. Is
that
what we're
was
talking about. He
yeah,
doing
that's
too
what I'm saying.
much.
Yeah,
Too much. What we just can we just have one thing we
y'all
don't
focusing on
worry
all
about?
this other stuff and not the dang story. I'm not remembering the shit that's going on.
But
Like,
on speaking on people who when are we ever gonna see them? Where is Rue's mother?
That bitch, listen, she pissed me
oh,
off at the end of the episode. She was like, "Oh, Rue's doing so good, bitch. Your house just fucking turned into fucking Narcos,
A
bitch.
trap
Y'all,
house. The
you ain't
trap
got no.
house. The trap
This
because
house.
she
ain't got no
asked her if those
intuition.
were her clothes. She was like, "Are those my clothes?" And it was like, "Yeah." I was auditioning for
We got the CGM.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
We got
Your
the
girl ain't
CGM.
never been no fucking theater.
period.
But
Your daughter
also,
is not
like,
Zendaya.
you know what this reminds me of? When I
But
was watching Demi Lovato's their like documentary series, and they were talking about
Yeah,
how their latest relapse, and Demi kept saying that, oh, nobody noticed I was doing heroin and crack at the same time, and I couldn't believe it. So now when I'm watching this show, I'm like, how can you not notice she's high? Like
especially
high
in school. In school, they're
yeah.
like,
cocaine. Why is her mother no longer drug testing her?
"Cause
Ooh.
she's stupid."
It's only been 6 months. Like,
I think it's like she hasn't given her a reason to worry. I
Mhm.
But
guess I
your
don't know.
crackhead ass daughter just walked in the house for no
late
reason
with a
with a
suitcase.
suitcase.
Girl, that is the way Rue's not even trying to hide it. Why do you have a
Well,
suitcase? Open the suitcase
I
up.
mean, this whole episode was about Rue how she hides it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, true, but that pissed me off. That had me really scared. Like,
Like, oh yeah, what's in that case? Let me see that. Like,
for real.
there's no sense of agency. Now
She's not even like,
we see her interact with Gia.
that
Now,
pissed me
I,
off. That was
Gia beat
sad.
her ass.
Gia beat her ass
it
again.
was about the. They didn't get
Ooh.
into it all the way.
But I wish they did. It was like when you watch the Kardashians fight. she,
Maybe if you had a freaking business, look, okay.
why did the way she sat there and like because she did the fourth wall break and the presenter thing, so she knows what she's doing, and that's like the worst part is
Yeah, she's
that
like
we know
gaslighting, and I'm
she knows
like,
she's
damn.
gaslighting, and she's over here telling her sister, if I don't smoke weed, I'm gonna kill myself.
And you know Gia's like, "Oh, rude," and then of course she falls for it, and she's like, "Okay, I'm not gonna tell."
That was so much. I was like,
She was smart. She was
Rue is the
smart.
bad guy. I think she is really becoming the bad guy. She's the yeah.
but I'm not surprised because this is how people who are like, whenever you watch shows and people talk about, oh, people who are addicts or
This
have
is how they
substance abuse
are.
problem, they're so manipulative, they steal, they lie, they're great liars. And it really can transform someone where it's like they will do whatever it takes to get high, no matter what. But it's
Mhm.
just like, I don't believe the show. You know what I mean? There's part of the show I don't believe in the sense that I don't believe Rue is as high functioning as she thinks she is. I believe
Mm.
Elliot is, and that's why I think I don't like him either. Where you just the first time you met this person, she almost died.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, no
so
big deal."
so with Elliot, I don't know if he's like a high functioning addict or if he just casually does drugs.
I think he casually does it.
Yeah, he's not like
But
rude.
they do it
Nobody's like
every
rude.
day.
Yeah. Some
I
people
mean,
But
just
you
is
know,
it
you build
casual
up a
if you do it
casual.
every
tolerance.
day?
You build up a tolerance though
Yeah.
to the point
Less
like
giving addict.
I don't. But we don't know if he really doing it though, because you don't see him all the time doing it.
But he's the
yeah,
one buying it. When have we ever seen Rue do drugs? I mean, pay for drugs.
never.
We ain't never seen her take
Well,
out
she
a
just paid
wallet
with it
and
with her
pay for
life on this
drugs.
episode.
Well,
Like,
we can since you brought up Elliot though, we could go into now the whole interaction this whole episode between Elliot and Jules.
nah, that was
What's going
weird.
on here?
That was weird.
I don't want it.
It's giving like threesome. Like the
Not
fact that
the
he told
not the
Jules
ruffle.
that he likes Rue, but he knows that they're dating. Like, ooh, no, no, no. And then the one thing that struck me is when he said, "Oh, the Kurt Cobain," and they keep talking about Kurt Cobain, and we all know Kurt Cobain died of a heroin overdose. But what
Hmm.
I'm thinking about is like when
No,
the
he shot
producer on
himself.
TikTok is like
Hmm.
talking about, oh, they're supposed to be Romeo and Juliet. Now we know Ruby doing drugs, and we know at the end of that play they both die.
Hmm.
And
Elliot's
them
gonna die.
calling Jules Kurt Cobain, and we know what happened to Kurt Cobain.
No, I
Like,
think I think Elliot's
where are we
gonna die because
going?
he's not a regular. He's not like a regular part of the cast, so they're
Yeah,
probably gonna kill him
I
off.
see this season going really like okay, serious, like to the point where it's like almost how I don't know if y'all watch On My Block, like that. It didn't get too serious, but it was like a we gotta figure out who's trying to get us or something
Yeah.
like that, like because of Rue's decisions, and that and the
She
bad
is so funny though.
decisions. Who?
Oh yeah,
Rue is funny. The fact that she put on her best business suit and auditioned to be America's next top drug dealer.
Yeah.
She looked way more prepared to audition for that than she ever did going into school with her alleged 3.95. I don't believe you. I
that's
don't
what I was
believe
wondering.
you.
I was like, bitch, you were like
Lexi do
dead
her
for a
homework.
year.
I did
Lexi do
a
her
year.
homework. That's why. That's
Like
why. That's how she got that GPA. Because it's just the fact that she put in a bun, she did her hair, she put on some makeup, she put on a suit to go get $10,000 worth of drugs.
And
She can't sell.
she had such a good business plan. It was like so well thought out.
Exactly.
It was
But
like it was scary how good it was thought out.
if she
Like
had
it
just
was
applied herself in
Okay, what was
school,
the plan then? Because I never got the damn plan. What was
so
the
the
what?
plan was like basically to create a system of like mutually assured destruction and like to have like all these other people selling and pushing your product and like cutting other people in on it so that the big kingpin can make more. It was like some stuff like that. But
how
the
do you go to
most
jail? That's what that is.
yeah, oh yeah, and
So what?
it was
How to go to jail, child.
so basically what she was saying is that there are four other teen girls that are selling the product one
emphasis
first.
on teens and
Right.
minors.
Emphasis
That's the
on
big
teens,
part.
but these teens are also high functioning teens. So they do very well in school. They're very unassuming. Nobody would assume they're selling drugs because they get
Right.
Hmm.
all A's. They're, typical great
Mm-hmm.
students. Like nobody's looking at them to be like, that bitch selling drugs. So it was that on top of, all of the, I guess, kind of what you would call, I don't know, like blackmail, like
Yeah.
if they
Okay.
want to, because they don't have a reason to tell on themselves, because selling
Cause
drugs would
she up
potentially keep them from getting into colleges and this, that, and the third.
because she
So they're
said
So
trying.
like a
logs
pyramid.
in like their phones all to like one cloud, and
Okay.
so she just gets a bunch of dirt on them as time goes on, and it's like if you screw up, I'm dropping this or I'm sending this to whomever, and your life is over.
Right.
She is so
Oh, not the villain origin story. Like, what
she
is
is
going
so
on?
but so she created a pyramid scheme based off of blackmail, like that Nexium cult, essentially, to sell drugs.
So
Yeah,
my
And
thing is,
if
perhaps,
she don't turn this 10K over, she's getting sold, trafficked.
and it seemed like she already getting high on her supply.
That's what she is, such a terrible drug dealer, girl. This is why I'm saying we have never seen her buy drugs. We have never seen her literally get a job, have money to buy drugs.
Fez
She ain't
is
buy
gonna
them
have to
drugs to
get her
move
out
them.
of this.
She said, "Let me take a cut." I think her plan will, outside of what she said, I think she's accounting for the drugs she wants to do. So she may up the prices of the drugs she's not gonna do after she takes her portion, so it ends up being the 10K.
But you're an addict, so you're
That's
not
what I'm
just like,
talking
oh, I'm
about.
gonna take a
Ain't no
bite.
damn
Like,
limits.
no, bitch, you're gonna look up
But
and
if
that shit is
somebody
gone.
steals that suitcase, it's over.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Bitch could have worked at goddamn McDonald's. If you really that on, you need some money.
she's best friends with a drug dealer who was giving her drugs, so he knew that if he gave her drugs it wouldn't be something crazy. But now you going and moving with randoms that we don't trust, that literally
It's
put
not
a
that
gun
she's
to
not
your
a. It's
head.
not that she's a random. The lady is the lady that they went when.
Yeah, but
Um.
she don't really know her like that, and when they went
Right.
they
It's
got
true.
threatened, like, for
And that
real.
lady is dead
Yeah.
ass. Like she will really fuck you up.
The way she said it so calmly, that's how you it she's done it before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, facts.
Somebody else missing. It's just,
I,
Rue,
I
how are
I
you going to do this? Who are these four
I
little
have a feeling
girls?
that she's gonna get away with this though.
I feel like Fez is gonna get her out of it.
He need to stop.
If anybody, he's gonna get her out of it because he
Well,
doesn't
somebody
want
gonna
to
have
see
to
her
get her.
die.
Like, let me tell you something, little girl.
Beat her ass.
Like Ali tried. Ali tried.
And
He
she turned on him. I
the
was like,
way she said that, like
oh,
slick out her mouth, like, who is this person? What happened?
this is
In
not the Rue that we knew.
in like one episode, you became like, oh, it's like that now, girl. Oh no, you need to stop. Cause she just said that, and he was like, I'm the only motherfucker who cares. Like, I
Your
can't.
own mom doesn't even want to know facts. She doesn't even want to know truth. She wants to see
The
what
Yeah, I
she
feel like
mom's
wants
her
to
mom.
see.
Her
delusional.
mom is just tired. Like you know what? I'm just tired,
She
child.
wants to see what she wants to see. Ali is the only person who really cares to get in there. And poor Gia, like she tries to get herself as involved as she can, but it's a
Yeah,
But
lot for
she's a
her
kid.
too. Yeah.
They're all
again.
kids. I mean, it's just too much. It's so much. Like, the way just Rue just really showed that ugly persona that people who have addiction problems can have, or just people in general. Whenever
Hmm.
they need to get what they need, they'll do whatever, if that means burn a bridge. But I think Rue said that on purpose because she knew he would get upset, so that it'd be one less person to look after her, so it'd be easier for her to sell these drugs.
Yeah.
Because the fact that you sat there and took a suitcase to Narcotics Anonymous,
And that was the
girl,
stupid part.
she should
Yeah.
just left it at home. Why are you like this? What
Because
high
she's
school
a
do you
drug
know that
addict.
somebody?
She's not thinking.
But the
Sis was
high
riding a
school,
bike with the damn suitcase. I'm like, you couldn't get an
what
Uber.
high school do you know that someone just roll in with a suitcase and it's fine? They don't check it.
Like that, especially for someone with that history. And that's what I keep going back to. Like
Nobody
everyone
cares about
knows
her.
this bitch did this shit. And y'all her mom
Yes.
is like, "Oh, I don't care." The people in the fucking AA or whatever the fuck, "Oh, that's just whatever she has."
Hmm.
The police that I know saw this bitch just rolling around. A bitch on a bike in a suit with a suitcase. No bells.
Or their friends when they were in the bathroom, where she was like, when Cassie's like, Rue, are you high? And she's like, yeah. And or no, are you taking drugs? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, did you relapse? I'm like, well, I just smoke weed. That's still relapsing.
Okay, let's get
Like,
into it. Like
they
people
just
be
all
acting
moved
like
on.
weed is
It's still
something
a
different.
drug.
But you know how that scene reminded me, like that's how high schoolers are though. Like they just care to just know, just to know. They don't really give a crap.
Yeah, that scene they was in the bathroom. They gave Cat them two little lines, and then bye bye for the rest of
Yeah.
the episode. Child.
So we don't.
I'm
I hope
upset
the
about
rumors are
that.
not true. I hope the rumors are not true
Let's get
because
into it though, because I think I don't know if I don't. I think I broke the story on TikTok because like it got a lot of views, but like Cat, she walked off the set allegedly.
Barbie, yeah, they said
yeah,
because
after an argument,
with
Sam
Spencer or
Levinson
Sam, sorry.
Hmm. And they
over
said
how
that he
her
cut off
character's
some of her
doing.
parts, and
Yeah.
I seen like she had a couple. She had like one little small scene with Ethan and their parents, which I was like, yeah, I don't like that mom. But then she had like them two little lines in the bathroom saying like, oh, why are you dressed? Because they were talking about that play, which we need to get into too. Um,
Is that a real play
Oklahoma.
or they just made up a fake ass play?
I,
Oklahoma.
Is that a
is
real
it
ass
real?
play?
No, Oklahoma's a real thing. Yeah,
I know
like
it's a
when
Okay.
you put
state.
the, huh?
It's a state. I know it's a state, but like,
No,
there's a.
it's a real play. Yeah, no, or a
It's a
movie or
play.
something.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
for
You
real?
didn't know Oklahoma was a real play? It's a Rogers and Hammerstein's play.
Yes,
Child,
yes.
I'm not into the theater, child.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
And
not
and
either.
and, and Cassie was dressed like one of the
I'm
girls.
I'm
Well, Lil
gay.
Bo
I love all
Peep.
things theater.
Okay, hey, hello. I'm like place to any you. But
She is
yeah,
so, girl. Pray for her.
cool.
Cassie,
Yes,
free,
Ray,
free my. No, 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 no.
no,
they
I'm
Let's
can
done.
let's
I'm
stop
done with
her.
her.
let's get
Okay,
into that scene
We're
when it
not
was.
freeing Cassie because
Wait, wait,
Cassie
wait.
put herself in this situation.
Let's get into
true.
that scene when Nate's parents was downstairs and Cassie and Nate was upstairs
It
loud as
was
hell.
so
I was like, that is the
loud.
whitest shit I have ever seen in
That
my
is
life. Because
so
my mother would beat my
disgusting.
ass. I could be
That is
40 and she would beat
Would
my
have
so.
ass.
knocked the door off the hinges. You won't have a door no more.
That's
Yeah,
so
it's wild. It's real
gross.
wild. Like that was real wild. That was wild. That
And
was the
they
wildest
and the
thing I've ever
mom's like,
seen.
"Oh, to be a teenager again. That's
Girl.
your kid. That's your son."
You hearing that?
Ooh, that like they just sat there casually just drinking and they were so loud. Girl,
The
close the door.
toxicity of it all.
Close
Because
the
I
The
feel like
door
door.
probably
Nate,
was closed, but the thing about it is, I feel so. For some reason, I feel like this is very white. It's a very white thing to do
Nate owns the
because
house. Like,
because
Yeah, that's what it's given. Like I feel like Nate just
because this
wanna
isn't the first. This isn't the first and only show that I've seen this happen with, and they're always white families. It's never black. This is never it happens in a black house. But but like this is like the second or third time that I've seen like this particular dynamic where the parents are allowing the child to like have sleepovers with their girlfriend or significant other, and they just be having sex in the house and being loud, and like the parents are just like, oh, like the parents are either frustrated or unfazed, and it's like
but
Do you
I,
see,
think
remember Cal,
was doing that?
he don't want to get on Nate's bad side.
True. But then this is what I mean with like the Cal situation is just parallel to Nate because won't Cal fucking in his parents' house, in the office and everywhere, like all over his parents' house in the beginning with Nate's mom. So
Mm.
it's like one to sit there and do it so loudly, Nate, you was an asshole. But what we did learn where Nate got them head game skills because oh my god, Cassie, every
well,
Friday night.
Maddie will never know what his head is like because he don't
There
like
go
going down
Teddy.
on her.
Oh,
What's up? What's...
Hey,
Hey,
So we talking about Cassie and Nate, creeping around lately.
it's sad though
did you
because
see my
Cassie
whole eye
like
roll? Did you see my
Mhm.
whole eye roll there?
it's sad because she really thinks he loves her.
Yeah.
He don't take you out in public.
The only time he looked at her for like a couple of seconds was when you was looking like Maddie.
And
What does that
I
mean?
felt so sad and
Come
embarrassed
on.
for her because the smile and joy she had to get that little 2-second glance.
But you know what? Let me stop because I'm gonna stop being a fake bitch. I was that I ain't
yeah,
trying to
we've
shit
all
on the
been
man.
there. I've been
I ain't
there.
trying to shit
No
about a man,
shade.
but I wanted to get some attention. You know what I'm saying? And I got a little bit of attention. I was like, oh, okay. But
but like
Well, I
even
think
the level of no attention that he's giving her, and
mm,
that
Sad.
little it's sad. Like
I'm not sad for her.
she's
But it
I'm
wasn't
not
waking
even
up
sad
like a
for her.
at
smirk. He just
she's
looked at
waking
her.
up at 4 a.m. every day doing
mm.
the absolute most
I am
to
not sad
get
for
ready to
her.
be cute for this boy that don't pay her no mind. And then the one time he paid her any mind, she was dressing like Maddie.
And terribly done. Them
I'm not sad for her because
baby
this is
hair.
karma
The
coming to
bangs.
bite her in the ass. You do not you don't go after your friend's man. Girl, get your life.
But you see how in
Girl,
her little like delusion where she had that outburst where she was like, I'm not a bad friend because you weren't together. You were broken up for 3 weeks and 3 days.
girl, we could
That
have been
makes it
woken
even
up for
worse.
3 decades. Okay? Girl,
That's
the
girl
fact that
code.
you
Not
knew
that one.
But
the fact that you knew
Three
the
weeks
but
and
day
this
3 days.
goes into the thing like if
to the
your friend and
hour.
their ex don't work out, who's to say that that person not right for you? But that's a
Oh,
different
But
conversation for a
that's a
different day.
conversation. That's a conversation to be had if it's that deep.
but you
Mm,
Like
need
you
to
Right.
don't
have that
just
with your
go
But it's not
friends.
that
behind.
deep. It's high school. It's never that
Yeah,
deep.
yeah.
But you need to like if she really but that's the thing where she's like, I'm in love with Nate Jacobs and he loves me. The
I
fact
was
that
like,
she
bitch,
thought
are
he
you
loved
done?
her,
No,
Are
he
you
would
fucking?
even take you out to
when I
dinner.
thought it was real, when I thought she really said that, I was like, you know what? Okay, now I got a little bit of a respect for you because you being a
I
real
know
one right
she ain't
now.
say that because Maddie would have whooped her ass before she finished that sentence.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah,
Where that bitch is on the
everybody
floor.
was
Daddy would
way
have
too
dropped his
calm with the
stuff.
information when it was coming out of her mouth for it to be real. Like I was like, is
Right.
this real? And then when I realized when Ruth was narrating that it wasn't, I was like, oh okay, cool. This makes
I
her
just can't wait
internally
to see
imploding makes
how
more sense.
Maddie is going to react. Like, I cannot wait to see. I need this ball to drop. Like,
But it's sad that she thinks that him just having sex with her one day a week means love.
I've
mm.
He
been
don't
there
even take
before,
her
so
out to
I
But
can't
dinner.
really talk
okay, let me
shit.
not speak for
Yeah,
everybody,
like
but
I've
people
been,
been there.
I've been there.
we
I
people
feel
have been there,
bad.
especially when you're a
I feel
teenager.
bad.
That's why I keep saying free Cassie because I'm like, bitch,
She
I get
she
you.
weak in the knees. Stand up.
You know what? You know what? For me, it's different because even when I was like in high school and I was having sex, I just thought sex was just like sex. For me to feel like somebody was in love, this was even when I was in high school. If you didn't give me like a mind fuck or didn't like stimulate my mind, I just thought it was just frivolous sex, and I was all about having all of the frivolous sex, just like eating a piece of candy. Oh, I'm getting some sex. Okay, let's do this. Because it
And
was
that's how
nothing
Nate's
for
feeling.
me. What happened?
And that's how Nate is probably feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was a
True.
whore. I mean,
Ooh,
I'll
okay.
admit that. I'll own up to it. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm crying.
Don't judge me.
Harry.
I see Harry. I see you
Look,
judging. Don't judge me.
it's
No,
judgment
Don't
free.
you
no,
know
Look,
no,
look.
Teddy. I was for a little mini minute.
No,
Sorry.
no, no. I have no. I look. I totally believe in the whole phase. It's just the way he put it that had me like internally dead.
I feel like I'm
I was a
always the
good
Lexi of the
Samaritan.
group
You
because
stop.
my friends were always the ones that would just have a whole phase,
No, I
have a
was a
terrible
hoe in
phase, and I was just sitting
college.
there
I
like,
wasn't
oh,
a hoe in high school. I
No,
didn't touch
I was
nobody
a
in high
fool at
school.
sport and nobody knew. Like my friends did not know.
I mean,
Like
that's the
I
best
was
way to be.
really just doing the most and they never knew until like we were at a frat meeting.
Mm.
And so with me and my me and some of my frat brothers, and like we were in the middle of meeting, and one of my frat brothers found out about like some of the stuff I was doing, and he was like, "Let me tell y'all what this young man he been about these
Mm-mm.
last couple years." And I
Child,
was like, "Oh,
not they clocked you.
they did. They read me
The
my
shock.
right." And with that,
Somebody out
they
here
laughed
spilling
about
your
it though.
tea, child.
They laughed about it though. It was a whole big thing though. They really laughed about it. They laughed they ass off at me.
Okay, so I want to get into Lexi's play because, like,
loved it.
okay,
Do you think she's gonna talk about her sister getting an
why?
abortion? That's what I said. I thought she was gonna air her sister out, but do you think she's gonna have like she really gonna get that deep and talk about her sister having an abortion?
I
Can we
think
get into
have
Bobby and how I love Bobby? She seems like my spirit animal
Yes.
already. Like she's all I
oh
don't
yeah.
even know her. She only had like two lines, but she was already my spirit
That's
animal.
Who?
my
And
bitch.
I was
The black
The
girl.
girl, Lexi's
The one
assistant.
dark
Oh,
skin
the
that they
assistant.
have.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
The one dark
Oh,
skin that they've
Not
ever
the
had
one
on
dark
the
yeah.
show.
skin, Crane.
But
She
now
could
they're
have had
having a
more
casting
parts.
call for black people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I heard about that. Hmm. They need to
Hmm.
hire Ryan Destiny first. She need to be on there.
Do she?
What's she gonna do in Euphoria?
What is
What
wrong
is
with
Right.
she?
Ryan Destiny?
We don't. Why we need to bring her down and put her in
Not bring
Euphoria?
her down.
Cannot bring her down.
You
I bet
said
you
it,
I
do
not
guest
me.
star. Oh,
I'm just saying.
Look, I'd get that Sam Levinson check. I don't care what I gotta do.
okay. Let me get. Okay, let me get one.
whatever. He out here gatekeeping because he out here gatekeeping your scenes because y'all don't get along. Girl, please.
I'll
I don't want
fake
that
getting
check.
along.
I don't
I'll
want
read
that
the
check
lines
that
and
bad.
go.
That's
Just
my
read the
nigga.
lines
That's
and
Go on.
go. Just that's what I'm saying with Barbie girl. Get the bag. Don't you want the check? Just read the
hmm
lines and go. You don't have to be a good actor on this show.
I never get
But
why
I think
actors be
I
so
think when
passionate. Like
you actually
I feel like my character should be. This ain't your character.
right, I
This
don't
is
think it's
I
your
his.
kind
character, but
of
I feel like sometimes
what
when you're an actor, I feel like actors feel this way a lot about the art that they do. When you're an
it's a
actor,
collaborative effort
right? It's a collaborative effort,
but
and then it's
I
like,
think
who, what type of
between
person am I? Am I? If I was just to allow this,
yeah.
just this
but I
They
think
to
that,
feel
happen.
protective of it.
knowing a couple people who do act, to me, a lot of them get really particular about that because a lot of them say they literally like have to become that person in
Mm-hmm.
order to really sell that role. And some people are like, I don't want to become that person or that entity for that long of a time because
Right.
it takes them a while to kind of
Get out of the
decompress and detox out
Because
of
they essentially create the characters
right,
right.
between
right.
it's
It
a
takes them
collaborative
Oh.
effort
Method
between the
acting is
actor,
That's
really
the
that's why I'm
writer, the
curious. Like, what
director.
did Sam want her to do, and what did she want? Because maybe she didn't feel like okay, because he allows other people to have a lot of influence over their characters and things like that. But it's like, how it's not like she gonna be the one doing drugs. What did he want her to do? I want to know like what
You
was
ain't
the
had to
argument
make
about?
Zendaya strip, so why I gotta do this?
Probably, child.
I
and
don't
then I
think
mean it's
anyone
just
wanted to see Zendaya because it was like that's like our big sister. Like, no, wait.
We saw her on Disney. We can't. I don't
Hmm.
want to do that. I don't
and
want to
it's
see
funny
that.
because like Zendaya is probably one of the youngest or yeah, probably one of the youngest actors there.
She's 27.
Oh, is she?
well, she's
Okay.
that
Oh
young.
damn, she older
I
than
didn't
me.
know
She's
she was that
not that
old.
young.
I thought she was like 2023.
No,
Mm-mm.
Uh,
she's
No, ma'am.
25. She's like a year
she's
Okay.
older than me, I
25.
thought.
No, I
Oh,
thought she was like 20. I thought she was 26, but I know she's
Hold
not
I
on,
20.
know I know
hold on.
Maddie is 30. I know that much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we
And then
sure
I was
about
like,
that?
she
Let me
looks
see.
great.
Let me see. I'm gonna look
You
it
gotta
up.
look up
Hello?
Zendaya. You look up Maddie.
No. Oh yeah.
Well,
No,
we know
Maddie's
Alexa Demi's
Alexa.
30.
Yeah, Alexa's
She's
30.
25. Zendaya's 25.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she's
25.
like my age.
Yeah.
I'm 24, but I'll be 25 this year. But yeah, she's young. I mean, yeah, but certain actors got to do certain things. I mean, Barbie is not. I've never seen her nowhere else, so this probably. I'm not saying this is her first thing because
This
people
is.
Oh well, you gotta get in where you fit in. You got to do some things, you know. But I feel like they
I
should clarify
mean,
what did you not want to do, and if it's a
yeah,
Instead of just
because
really
making
I
her appear a certain way, like, oh, she's difficult and blah blah,
because
because
honey,
that's
you're
very
doing
easy
this
to do
in
to a
this space
woman.
of blackballing, like
That's very
blackballing
I
easy
girls.
low
to do
key
to a
feel that
woman.
bad for Barbie because we know she was being a little racist on Tumblr.
What
What?
did she do?
She was saying the N word.
Not cat.
For
I'm
real,
tired.
yes.
I'm
I'm
tired.
not lying. She was.
Dang.
I'm
You can
so
look this
tired.
up.
I be
How
Yes, that's why
fucking
many?
these
people.
folks. Child. Let me. See.
How
For
many
real.
do we have to find out? I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of every time I turn
Wow, I
around.
did
Oh,
not know that. That's
they
new
did
knowledge
this.
to me.
I'm tired.
But
But she
why?
gives great
But
looks.
me being tired of finding out doesn't mean I won't keep 86 people
Oh,
I'm
out of
still
the
gonna
whole
watch.
circle. You
period.
still gonna get the smoke. I ain't gonna never get tired of
Uh-huh.
giving you the same energy. Yeah, yeah, you still get the same energy. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, okay. So the play is going to be probably about her life and her sister. It's going to be some drama there. So I can't wait to see how that
But we
kind of
saw
plays out.
like with like oh they had a scene with like cheerleaders and things like that. So like I love the fact that they did a fake mockumentary within
Yeah.
the episode. And I
Hmm.
just
I
even though
know.
Lexi is like they need to make her part bigger. When is she gonna get her own episode? Because
Yeah.
Well,
I'm worried
can I
we gonna
do?
find out.
Can I have a 45 second? Because I know y'all probably already covered the beginning,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
the whole trying to humanize Cal with his backstory, I'm not here for him. I'm not here for no part. Cal is a monster. He's a horrible human being. I did not, I literally looked at that and was like, oh well, I
Hmm.
do not care. I don't feel bad for
Not
you.
even when he was
Oh,
crying in the bed because he couldn't live in
baby,
his.
he could have cried,
But he's
but
crying in
they
the
was
bed like he could
begging
have
like
wrapped it
rabbits.
up.
They literally was fucking like rabbits.
I
Ain't no. I
know.
mean, so you didn't think y'all was gonna get
I
pregnant?
mean, when was this? What, the 50s, 60s,
90s.
It
What you
was
70s?
mean? This was
definitely
the
the
90s.
80s.
There
What?
was no sex education, so people didn't
Yes,
know.
there what? Y'all,
There,
please.
But the
We know
way,
there,
about
but
there
the
go.
way it
There
sex.
is,
was
the
sex
way it is now,
education. There
but the way
was
that it
sex
is now,
education.
So if
There
this
it
was
was
50,
sex
back.
education in the 80s, but they weren't making them take sex education the way
It
they
yeah,
It's
but
are
you
didn't
know
very
a
matter.
much
lot of
so
us,
like
you know a lot
adolescent.
of us
Hold
back
on, hold on,
then.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
It
hold
was
on. Let me clear this up.
okay. Go
Let me
ahead.
clear this up for the people. Now, there definitely was sex education back then. And
Like how it
even
is
going
today.
back, yes, and even going back to grandparents' days, they even in a biology class, you learn freaking human growth and
But
development in a
the
freaking.
accessibility and the transparency about the conversation, because I feel like back then it was just abstinence or nothing. I
No, it
feel
was
like
not
But
just
I'm just
I
abstinence.
feel like they
No,
confused.
didn't give
no,
Like,
you enough.
no. Hello.
I'm
I
sorry.
can speak to that. There was very much so preaching of condoms. There was very much so preaching of
yes,
birth
because this has
control.
happened after the AIDS
Yeah,
epidemic. So, you know, there were a
there was
bunch of
very much
people talking about
preaching of
condoms and
birth
safe
control.
sex.
This was after the 80s AIDS epidemic
Yeah.
and so forth, when there was absolutely, it changed the porn industry as a porn connoisseur myself. It, it changed the way that people even consumed the porn. Like, it
Uh
changed
huh.
everything. So there was absolutely they knew all about
But
contraceptives,
they
and
were
even
having,
before AIDS, they knew about that. They knew you having sex 5 times a day, you're gonna get pregnant.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
See,
but
God.
okay, but the 80s and 90s, people was having children, and at the end of the day,
but it
people was
was
people
getting
like
have
the
children
way he
today.
sat there and cried and he was like, take
no, not
another
really.
test. And she's like, I've taken three. I did.
Dang.
I laughed, but it wasn't funny. It was just,
But
he
does
was
that
sitting there
mean your
like,
life is over though? Like, just I don't want to
they didn't
rehash
have to
too much.
get married.
I
Why
don't
did they
think it
get
was about
married?
his life, but no, I'm gonna tell you
Of
what that
course
was
he had
about.
to get married.
To me,
It
Did
was
you
a
see his
different
daddy? He
time.
was
no, to me,
absolutely gonna get married to that girl.
his crying was he knew that he couldn't go and be with old boy.
Yeah, that's what I
True.
was.
That's why he was crying.
That's
It
what
had
I was
nothing to
sad
do
about. But then I
with
was like, this is
the other stuff.
McNasty, so never mind.
It
That's
was
what it was about.
just,
I mean, was Derek even going to be with him anyway publicly? Like, I mean,
oh,
But it's not
that
even
part.
just that. Like we had to
Didn't they
understand
go to like a gay bar or something?
this kept him from a whole world of
Yeah.
possibility. This kept him from being able to live in his truth, like even outside of his house
Right.
in
Yeah.
college. Like
That's why he was crying.
this clanked him down for life,
hmm He
which
knew
is
at that point, yeah, I can't
which
do
brings
what I
back to the
want to do.
point that I forget the name of the other person who is always on here with us. He mentioned that
you're talking
Nate's
about,
dad
yeah. Mhm.
That's
Nate's
why he
dad
hates Taylor so
he meant
much.
he mentioned that Nate's dad like wanted to be caught.
Nate, I mean, why keep saying Taylor Nate?
I
That's
don't
why he
think
hates Nate so much.
I don't think that Nate's dad necessarily wanted to be consciously caught with all those videos and things, but I think subconsciously he wanted to be freed. So subconsciously he kind of just got reckless
Wow.
and
But
didn't
do
really
you
I
care
mean,
think that
yeah,
anymore.
like
yeah.
do you think that because Nate's dad probably resents the mom for getting pregnant, even though it takes two to tango,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that probably plays into why Nate hates his mother?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, this is so much in one show.
I mean, but
I
Nate has
can't.
always, even at the beginning,
I
it
don't
was
know.
always known that Nate thought his mother was weak.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
I just, we haven't
Like
even gotten on. It's just
I
too
just
much going on
knew
in the
when I
show.
was watching the beginning, I was watching some old school hardcore gay porn about to get started. When they was on that goddamn wrestling mat, I was
Yeah, that was really weird.
what is happening? Like that was some old school gay porn that was about to happen.
Right, right. Oh, not. Okay, never mind. I was about to say some names, but anyway. Uh,
ah,
Mm.
Please.
oh,
no, no,
God.
no, no. So let's get back on the
Can we get
timeline.
on
Yeah, that's what I did when
the
because I
truth
know
and
y'all had
dare?
touched that, but yeah, I don't feel bad for him.
Uh,
Kudos to Ashtray. I hope Ashtray should. I would think Ashtray should still be whooping his ass right now.
He fucked him
ashtray.
up.
So
Oh
that's
yes,
the perfect
he
segue.
admitted. He admitted to having sex with Jules, who's an underage minor,
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
recording it without her consent, to Fez, who didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
you just told all these people admitted to a
Mm-hmm.
crime. This is getting messy.
yeah.
This is getting
Fez was really
messy.
like, what the fuck that got to do with me?
For
Right.
And he
real.
Like
was
I
so
That
remember
whole
defensive.
you
Is
scene
there
was
a little
funny
bit of
because
a
Fez was like
continuity
really
issue because
puzzled.
I thought Fesco knew. Like I thought Rue gave him the tape, or there was
No,
somewhere
Maddie has the
No,
tape.
Daddy got the tape.
Maddie has the CD
Maddie has it. So why would he ever think the Fesco had it?
because
because
that's what
He
Nate
don't
told
because
know.
that's who
him.
beat
He
up
doesn't
Nate.
know.
Yeah.
Remember Nate just told him
Maddie
last
has it.
episode.
Oh, he
Maddie
just
had
trying to interrogate everybody.
Maddie has the
Yeah.
tape, and
No,
that's why he can't freely be with Cassie.
They
Nate
told
told
his
his
dad
father
last
that
episode.
that Fesco had the tape. That's what
Was
he
it last
told. That's
episode?
what he told him.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
last episode.
To avoid from telling him that the reason Fesco came after him is because he snitched about the drugs.
oh.
Yeah. It's just too much. And then we haven't even gotten on the whole truth and dare, which was weird and awkward
Yeah, the
with
truth and dare with Elliot
Yeah.
and
peeing in the
Jules.
street. What we doing, Sam?
Scott
Did we
Well,
all
what
get to see
that
that?
was awkward to
right?
y'all.
What in
That
the
seemed
two
like the most
girls, one
realistic
cup
thing
is
that
going
happened throughout the
on
whole
here?
episode.
I mean, I think
Y'all do that?
you think it could come off a little offensive because we
I
know
mean,
that.
yes, of course it came off offensive, but like I did truth or dare and doing dumb shit with your friends in high school was the most realistic thing that happened in that whole episode.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it felt like
But I would
yeah.
I
peeing
will
in the
say that, yeah,
street?
you do play a lot of games
In
of
the
truth or
street,
dare.
No, just out in public with the cars. I was like, oh,
not in broad
girl.
I
daylight.
have a question. Does anyone have any comments or just thoughts about Jules's sudden revelation in her gender identity, binding
What's
her
the
chest?
revelation?
Like she's binding her chest, and I think she's maybe hinting at being like non-binary.
Really?
I don't know.
No,
Like,
So
I
Elliot
didn't.
brought it up
yeah,
Why did he
twice.
bring that up? See, he's a weirdo. Why would that is such a weird thing to bring
He's
up,
like
like an
fascinated by
intimate
Jules,
thing.
I don't
and
even think. I mean, it's obvious to bring it up because
like she's changed her
she's
look to be
interrogating
hyper
him. So why
feminine.
can't I mean if you're gonna interrogate me, I'm gonna interrogate you back. Like, bitch, you're
I
yeah,
trans.
she
think,
came in the
You
game
out here binding
interrogating
your
him.
chest. What's up with that?
I was just
but
mentioning how she changed her look because she went from being like super hyper feminine to like kind of being like more androgynous looking, and
Mm-hmm.
just frequent conversations about gender, specifically this
yeah,
episode, made me like think like, like, is she doing this because this is who she is, or is she doing this to feel like she needs to
that's a but like,
attract
was the
Rue?
hyper
Maybe I'm
feminine
not.
even her?
Yeah, and
Like,
there's that question.
yeah, but when it comes to Jules, girl, maybe she has this weird thing with drug addicts who are light skinned. That's her type.
But my thing about it
That's her
is,
Not
type.
drug addicts that are
I
light
didn't
skinned.
like the whole conversation with Elliot where it was just for me. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but for me, I'm not just gonna be that calm if you over here really like hardcore, like trying to go after my girlfriend, and I'm just
Yes,
sitting here
Yeah.
just having a
that was
casual
weird.
conversation like you wanna fuck her,
But
huh?
he's not really
Like,
going after her though. He's not doing anything.
Yeah,
no,
but the
but
moment
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
said
no,
you
that he
between
likes
that
her,
me, I'm
passive
like,
like, what?
aggressive shit, that passive
Yeah.
aggressive shit is real low key a turn on for a lot of people. And I would have been clawing his eyeballs out. I'm just trying to tell you what I would have been doing because that's
I
how I
mean,
am.
Jules already
I
said she
think
don't
Jules,
like him, but I just feel like I
I
just
feel like
don't.
Jules like him, not like him, like far as friendly, but like him. Like I don't know. I feel like there's
Jules
something.
this her
likes him because
fetish.
he's
This is her
now. Jules likes
fetish.
him now because now he's hit on her. He's complimented her. Jules is easy. Jules is easily
He did it
swayed
in
by
like a little.
compliments and
He did
being
like a
talked to
little.
nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jules girl, come on. And then the teaser for the next episode and they pan in on her like torso. I dare you. Girl, what we doing? What we doing?
Did not
That's
see
why I
that.
was
Let's get
saying it
I
was
haven't
giving
seen
threesome.
the
like
teaser.
You know,
threesome.
the next thing
Yeah.
is gonna be, I dare you to do this to that.
Ah,
What if
Okay.
they
son,
do
let us
like
in.
some? What if they do like some crazy thing? Because remember how they was both talking about rude sexuality and just her like
Yeah.
promiscuity. What if they try to like get her to come out of her shell a little bit? That would be weird to me.
I don't
If because I
I
feel like it
can't.
would just be a weird experience. Like
I
I don't
think
know.
because we can't separate, so a lot of us, like when watching a show, it's hard to separate the actor from the character. So to a lot of people, it may be uncomfortable. It's like Zendaya,
Zendaya?
Like
Because when
Disney.
seeing
Y'all
when they
watched her
Beyonce.
had
on
a
TV as a
sex
kid.
scene, I was well, two of them. I was like,
This is
okay,
just a lot. This
okay,
is
this girl.
I- we don't need. Not everybody needs to be having sex on the show.
I was happy for them in that scene, and
Well,
I
I
felt
mean,
like it
if
was
it's done
tasteful.
tastefully, I don't have a problem with like
I felt like it
that's
was
what happens
tasteful.
in these shows. They're gonna have
Yeah.
sex. They're horny teenagers.
I mean, I
And
was having sex in high school, so yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, Rue doesn't really even show horniness.
Right, which is why the conversation around her being asexual was a
Yeah.
thing. I think she's just not sexual because she's an addict. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
She not
I
she
feeling
doesn't
it.
Because
really show
that has a
emotions.
profound
Period.
effect. Drugs have a profound effect on like
Yeah,
your sex drive and emotions and things.
Hmm.
that's true. Well, it depends on the drugs, because the girls that take Tina and stuff like that, they be over hypersexualized. You know how she
What's
Not
is.
Tina.
Tina?
Oh well,
girl, it's crack.
no, it's meth.
Is it
Oh,
It,
meth?
it,
meth.
it,
Yeah,
Oh,
meth.
it's all crack to me.
But doesn't she do crack? We
Meth.
saw her snorting.
She does
it is
everything, girl.
It is
She
that
would
what
smoke.
everything.
it
She
is.
listen. She would smoke a squirrel on the side of the road.
Baby,
By her
Girl, we
house.
literally,
I'm
we
telling you,
literally saw her.
by
We
the
saw her
end of the
take a
season,
needle that went into somebody's punani and inject it,
And
and then
by
said,
go
the
snort,
"That's
and
end
me,
then go
of the
bitch."
smoke a blunt.
season, she gonna be sold off to Pablo Escobar down in
Oh,
Mexico.
facts.
Please
Mm-mm,
understand.
mm-mm.
Facts.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't believe
I
she can
mean,
turn that. I don't believe
She
she can. I
won't.
don't think she can do
She's
it.
not. She
She gon'
gonna be
she gon'
sold
she's gonna
to
be
Pablo
using it. There will
Escobar
be
down in
no drugs
Mexico.
left, but I don't
it's
think
gonna
she
be the
can make.
last show and to be like, oh my god, Fesco, I need some help, and then Fesco gonna find something. He gonna find
She,
something for
I don't
something.
That's
think
what
she
I
can flip that
said.
10K.
That's
She
what I
can't.
said. She won't. And thank God she was like, maybe we should just start with 10 instead of 50. Because if it was 50, I would have been like, oh, the bitch is dead. End of
She
season
should have
2.
started
That's
off with
it.
5.
Okay.
Yes.
That I'd believe. Oh, 5K. Okay, yeah. But how many more school parties they gonna have?
Well, she better hope they have a school party every weekend. Look,
Real girl. And then also saying I auditioned for Oklahoma.
Her mom was just
girl,
dumb.
now you
Her
gotta
We
mom was
ain't
pick
just
never
like
seen
you
you
got.
dumb.
in a theater. That 3.95 GPA. Lie.
Mm,
No, her delusional ass mama, who
Bless her
gets on
heart.
my
Yeah,
nerves.
girl.
At this point, she gets on my nerves. At this
She
point,
said,
because at this point, I don't feel bad for the mom either, because she's not even trying to parent.
mm-hmm.
She's not trying.
Is she working? Why is she not home?
Well, they
I
working.
know
live
she
in
got that little
California. I'm sure
boyfriend.
It's
she probably working to the bone.
yeah, I stay in
Yeah.
California. Being off a one parent income, like that's like you live in church
So,
to church.
like, I can be
So she's
sympathetic
at
in the
work.
sense that she's working a lot, but it's just like you would think that after you went through all this and you didn't see the signs the first time, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
read a book. about being a parent to an addict, or you started watching some videos or something,
Or
you
at
know,
least
I don't know,
get
be on her
somebody,
ass.
maybe get other family members involved instead of just having her home by herself saying, no, boo, when you get out of school, you report to auntie house or grandma house or
I
Yeah.
think
whoever.
we're
Yeah.
making this too realistic for an unrealistic show. I
Okay,
feel like
Just
weekly
because, like,
protest. Come
We
on.
always do that. I'm
I
I
think
sorry.
we're
think
being
I
You
just
too
it's just
excuse
it's
me for
we're
being
being too
realistic. I'm sorry.
specific about a show that's not.
but that's the
It's
thing, like
about
the
it's about her
logic,
being an addict. The
it
show
only
needs her to
works when
remain
it's
an
not
addict.
logic. This
We're
show
not
Because
only works if you
rehabilitating
and
don't
her.
that's
like consider that.
that's a
Now
good
this
point that Harry brings up because it's like think about watching scary movies. Like we always say, bitch, why would you go look for the sound? Why wouldn't you
but
leave?
you gotta
If the
do it.
Because
bitch
they're
left,
white.
there would be
Oh,
no movie. If
I'm
Okay,
the
but
not
bitch
look,
gonna
left,
lie. In my own house,
okay, but this
if I hear a
season,
sound, I'm going to go see what that sound is because I'm home in my house. What's this noise?
no, but
That's
see,
no.
realistic to me.
the thing about Euphoria with this show is gonna push what 5 seasons probably
Five?
consistently.
I thought four.
yeah, every good
Every
show is like
season
four
is
to
a.
five.
I thought
Oh,
it was
five
gonna
is a
be.
bonus. Okay, well 4.
Nobody is Grey's Anatomy. Grey's should have fucking
That
stopped
So
that
she
shit
really
needs
fucking
to
gonna be
end.
Wait, now
smoking.
hold
show.
on.
She
Don't
gonna be
give
doing
Grace too
drugs to the
much,
last.
okay?
Ellen is tired. Ellen, I know you fucking see that bitch. Ellen is
We're
tired.
tired.
Okay. She's like, how many
She
Look,
was
niggas
in a
can we
coma.
say?
don't give Meredith Grey too much. All right.
Okay.
There's no reason the other shows should have ended before 10 seasons, but this one can be on
I
for
mean, that's like saying Law and
20
Order should
years.
be going off by now, and it's still Law and Order has more
No, don't
seasons than
don't
Grey's
don't do
Anatomy.
don't do Miss
Law and Order
Miss
is a
Oh,
different
now we can't do
I
situation.
don't
Olivia
like
Benson, but
Law
we
and
can
Order.
do
I'm messing my
but we
Benson
can do
now.
Meredith Grey. See
don't
how y'all do.
because Olivia Benson is giving. She didn't spend the whole season in a coma.
She's
Because I know
getting
you see
what? Olivia
Ellen is
Benson. At this point, Mariska Hargitay is Olivia Benson. That like they're the same person.
and so
All
is
What?
right,
Ellen.
So was
And so
Ellen.
is Ellen.
and that's
Ellen
fine,
and that bitch is
and that's
tired.
I
fine.
I
Like
know
mean,
we
you
but
can.
let's
tired.
think about this. If we get to season 5, I mean, will she have any more membrane in her nose to snort out of? I
That's what I'm
mean,
saying. They're gonna have her.
what
They
people
gonna have her doing
grab?
drugs the whole series. Are they? Are we
Like,
really
Well,
gonna
I
do
No,
that?
mean,
like
and
there are other
how
wait a
much
things. You
minute,
don't
and
more
just
can
here's
have to
she
another
snort. You
thing.
can do
do?
injectables.
No, but
She
She
here's
not
did
even
another
have
thing.
injectable.
teeth.
She did heroin.
She was doing fentanyl. Remember, if you read the label on the thing that she was
She
sucking,
just
didn't it
started.
say
She
fentanyl?
just started doing that.
Uh,
And you know, with that
This
fentanyl,
woman gonna do
that
opioid by
thing
the
is
end of the
very
damn
potent.
series.
You take a little bit extra of that, you overdose and die. See,
That's
She gonna
Michael
be
like
K.
on
I'm
Williams
opioid.
worried.
well after
What?
that.
Like that's what I mean. Everybody's like she's gonna hit her rock bottom. She already overdosed. What else can happen to her
That bitch is
besides
in this
overdosing
is sixth
again?
ring of
I
hell.
want to
She's
see
not
at
even in
least
rock
next
bottom.
season because I know the second season, the 2 first seasons is gonna be rah rah. The third season, I'm gonna need her to really get serious about this
well, you
you know
know, she's
supporting
already cussed
herself.
out. She practically cussed out her sponsor. He's spiraling at this point.
He wanted to beat the
What
He's
if
about
he
to
ass.
relapse.
relapses? What
Now,
if
what
he
I can
He's
relapses
about
and
to
Oh
she's
relapse.
bad?
no.
I can see her getting so not sober, but her trying to get better, and her getting somebody else strung out like she was, and now we go into that person, you know,
Who else?
Okay,
spiraling
That's
like she
ooh.
was.
What if
and then
Drew
she'll be
starts
Captain
doing
Save
some
Ho.
drugs
Hmm.
and
Bitch,
giving that Kurt
What if
Cobain?
Gia just says fuck it, bitch,
But
and
Oh
but
just
no,
remember
not
she
stops?
got
Gia,
so
not
upset at
Gia,
Gia for
not
I
smoking
don't
the
Gia.
want
blunt
that for
last season.
Gia. I don't want that for
I
Gia.
don't think
What'd you say,
I don't think Gia
Anastasia?
would do
She
it.
did smoke
Remember,
that last season though.
yeah, Gia smoked one blunt and Rue was on that ass. Now she come to
But that's
Gia
because
saying,
Rue
"I
was
think
on
I've
a
been wanting to
path to
smoke weed."
rehabilitation.
Barely.
You right.
Yeah,
But she was
but that's the
trying.
thing. Like, I think it's a good thing that Ali is there because he's like, "Girl, I messed up." Like, I think that's a point of sobriety is that most people who get sober, it takes them a couple times.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I want to see Rue get sober this one time, and then that's it. I don't. We can't every single season. We just see her doing more because it makes me stressed.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I
This
Or
don't know.
doing
whole,
the
I
but
feel
heroin.
like I don't know because like the whole thing with like her going through the stages of how to you know how to
like
convince
she's
people
doing her
around you
own.
you not doing drugs still was like it was blowing me. It was like you have to have a cover drug and then you have to
Like
have
she was
your
giving me very
gaslighting and
She's
all of
smart.
the
I don't give a fuck.
Viola
She's
Davis
smart.
or How to Get Away with Murder.
right.
She had a plan. She gonna see it through.
She got to see it through, my
Very much.
boy.
Oh
What was
my
Got
her
to see
god.
it through,
character?
my boy.
They
What?
Annalise. That was her name. Annalise
Oh
Keating.
yeah,
That's what she
Annalise
was.
Annalise,
Keating.
anime hardness, Annalise
Not
Keating.
Mhm.
anime.
This is too much. I need. I need. I need a girl to just
Get it
Why did
together,
she
bitch.
needs she doesn't have a reason to be sober. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. And it's like, what is going to be her reason to be sober? And it's just,
What is going on in your life, honey? You lost your dad. How many people in this world have lost fathers? Like, no shade.
but
The
it's not,
dark
it's more than she lost her dad. It's because she was also like over prescribed as a
Oh,
child and
oh, right,
Yeah.
right, right,
consistently
right,
getting
right.
diagnosed way too
the
much.
Right.
dark side of me at some point wants every character have to sit in that chair and have Ashtray just pop them
Ah,
in the head with
What did
the with
Lexi
the
do?
butt of the
He
gun.
kept on hitting that man. I was like, oh my god.
Ashtray
Because
he
was
said, "Call the
every
police. Call the police. I'll be
everybody
back."
needs that, hitting the head a
But
couple times
what
to
did
wake up.
Lexi do? She don't deserve that. She ain't do nothing.
I'm not here for Lexi either.
he hates
Lexi,
Lexi.
But I'm
Um,
dark and sick and sadistic, so I'm okay
but
with
like I don't know, like I really enjoy the fact that Lexi had like a main character moment.
Mhm.
For herself. And this whole play thing, but like the fact that she was so freaking out in the bathroom scene because Cassie doesn't know about what she's written. It plays into what she may have written about her. Now, being that Euphoria High School is obviously not, very lenient with it. Who knows what she wrote and what's gonna be on that
That's
stage?
what I
Um,
mean. Maybe she
and
did write
so
about the abortion.
I feel like she may have, or she may have wrote something. She may have wrote something enough to piss
Mhm.
everybody off.
it might be like I don't know if
I think the problem is
y'all probably
nobody.
haven't seen the L
Yeah.
word. The L
Um,
word in the L word, Jenny basically the main character writes a script about all her friends airing their dirty laundry, but she changes their names. And
But that's the
I
thing.
feel
Like,
like that's what this play is gonna be for Lexi.
I
Like
think because
Yeah, because
like
I mean, her name
she
is
was talking about
Grace.
like, yeah, she was talking about, oh, I see everything like I'm just a character and watching every scene and stuff like
an
that. I
omniscient.
think,
hmm
yeah, I think there definitely is when she's like with the when Cassie was coming in as Hallie, sluttier, trashier, campier, things like that. I think she don't be fucking with her sister like that, and I think that's maybe because she doesn't like her sister because her sister, like many teenagers, isn't very receptive to other people and doesn't understand that other people also are going through things. And so I think maybe we're going to see a lot of what we saw with Cassie, but from Lexi's point of view of maybe being the forgotten one. Because I
yeah,
think
like
that
no
what
one
she
listens
showed,
to her.
like, she's like, oh, usually the side characters never really get
Mm.
any attention. So it's like,
To me,
maybe she
the
probably don't get
forgotten
any
one.
attention.
To me, the forgotten one is Kat because that whole conversation with Ethan's parents and the mom looking at her like, "Girl, what's your problem?" I basically am side eyeing Kat as well. I'm looking at her like,
Why?
Why?
I don't know because I feel like she's not being honest about what
What
she
the fuck is
wants.
she supposed to say to the parent? Oh, I've stole my
No,
pussy
no, no. I'm
online
saying
for
with
tits.
Ethan. She's not being honest with Ethan. She needs to say, Ethan, hey boo, hey boo, hey boo. I
I don't
don't
like
want
you.
you. I don't like you. And
Okay.
you just stringing this boy along. And I don't like
I forgot
having,
about that. Yeah.
I've been strung along before, and it's not a good feeling.
Mhm.
Or on the other side, you could have just been honest with me. And I mean, I had a lot of good nuts with you, but that does
I don't
not
think they have
suffice
sex.
for the fact that I'm just
Did
saying for
they?
me. I'm just saying for me.
I don't think
That doesn't
Ethan and Kat
suffice
be
for
doing
the
it.
I think
fact
they're just
that,
doing oral right now.
you know,
Okay.
They
When
don't
we
be
see them
doing
do
it.
oral, I don't think they do it.
You
She had
sound like
the
they
whole,
do it.
she had a whole a dream of a Viking killing him and fucking her.
Ugh.
So
But
I
I think
I don't
they,
think
but
they
I
be
think
doing
both.
they
it.
do
I think
like
they do
oral
both.
stuff. Like their first scene together, or I shouldn't say their first scene together, but their first like romantic scene together was him going down on her.
He
Mm.
I
really
But I don't
think
liked
think
they
she
her and
fuck.
she
likes
really
it.
liked him. And I'm just
The way
sad
she
at
was
how it
doing
turned
her
out.
face, she liked it. It was like ain't
And they
nobody
had a
had ever
real
done that
connection. I was
before.
happy for her.
But
Yeah,
why did
like and then
see
you
Sam Levinson ruined it? Why he do
But
that?
maybe that's somebody should walk out.
at the moment that you know you don't like him like that, rip the band-aid off. Just rip it off real fast.
Yeah.
But you know they
I
can't
get
do that.
that.
They can't give it to you easy. They gotta let you
Right.
drag
Because
you
nothing. I
drag
mean,
it.
because most things don't happen
But no,
that
a good
easily.
writer, you can you could there's ways to do. You could slow drag it out, or you could rip it off and morph that into a whole nother plot line where
Mm.
now Ethan is doing all of these sick, twisted, and diabolical things to fuck her life up because she done made him mad and fucked her up. I'm just saying.
Mm.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I
What if
mean,
he starts fucking Lexi? Because didn't he? Is he a theater kid? Because he was auditioning for the play.
He did audition for the play. He got the part. Whatever part he auditioned
he
for, I
seemed
don't
like
know
a
what
theater
part he
kid,
got, but
child.
he whatever part he
Or
auditioned
or
for,
they
he
can
got
even
it.
write it where he ends up getting with somebody she can't stand, and that being a beautiful relationship, and her being all jealous and shit, and wanting to
Hmm.
get
Maddie.
all back with them. And there's this whole like, there's a lot of ways to do it. Even if you just wanted to rip the band-aid off,
Yeah,
you could still write good plot line for their character to make them more interesting. Because
right.
to be honest, we're really not that interested in Kat and the fact that she doesn't really like Ethan.
And
Mm.
on Maddie, girl, Nate with them flowers.
The only reason he's doing that is because he's trapped with that damn video that he doesn't want to get out. Because does he really want her or does he want?
No,
I think
I
he
think he
does.
wants Maddie. Yeah,
I think he does.
Because I'm
It's not just
I
that
confused.
think it's
damn disc.
both.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
probably both. A little bit of both.
yeah.
But like,
Because
I don't know. But he also did in his dream blame Maddie for him
yeah,
abusing her. So
But
maybe it's
sometimes
both.
men can be stupid like that. Like we want what we shouldn't have, or we know is not good for us. Like we
but
do.
in the dream in the flashback, wasn't it like Rue was saying like, oh, Nate knows he's in love, but he knows he can't leave Maddie because of the tape and blah blah blah, so he's trapped. Like a parallel to his father's
Why he want to save
situation.
his dad so much? That's your dad did that.
Because
Exactly.
it's a reflection of him that like it would be different maybe if it was his mom and a woman because people receive that different, but the way that people receive like homosexual stuff between men, it's awful. So like
No,
it would
It's
I
be a
don't think
worse.
it's about
not
that. I
homosexual
think it's
because he had
because
sex
if that tape gets
with
out, he
Jules.
has Jules has leverage over him. I think
Yeah,
if that tape goes out, then Jules can just say what actually happened, and he'll have like nothing to really threaten her with or whatever and stuff. But it's just that tape, and like now the dad thinks that his son maybe also like questioning his sexuality and things like that because it's like, oh, Nate is also into Jules,
yeah,
which he is, and he had Jules in that little dream sequence. He need to stay away from her.
Yeah.
yes.
I, I think that's what people are saying. People think that Cassie's gonna get pregnant again, which if she does, sue your birth control manufacturer because they are failing. There's no reason you should be getting pregnant twice and a
Not
98% chance of working. You can't be
Oh.
you the 2%?
Right.
Well,
You need to
no,
sue.
there are.
Every time.
I know a couple people who birth control. Their doctors have
She
said,
need to
"Yo, it's
change.
not gonna work for her."
Then she need to get what's it called? The copper
She
not
better
the
not keep
copper.
it. That's
inside.
what I do know. She better not keep
Sh-
it. That's what I
No,
do
she
know.
probably gonna keep it.
Oh, she gonna keep
She
that.
think they in
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
love.
she's not gonna keep the black
If
baby,
it's
but she's
Nate,
definitely gonna
oh,
keep the
she's
white
gonna
baby.
Ah,
keep
yeah,
that
she
I
ain't
can
gonna
baby.
keep the
definitely
white.
see that.
She gonna,
he's the
okay.
mayor. McKay was
Mm.
just gonna do some little football. This man is
And
the
he
son
was
of the
failing at
mayor.
that.
Now he was
He
failing
was.
at
He's so
that.
short. No hate, but he's
I
so
mean, there's
short.
nothing wrong with a short football player. It's not like basketball, but he was just failing. Like he was
Yeah.
literally failing in front of everybody else. He's
But
like,
He just
everybody
McKay
else
also
is
told,
just
whines.
as good as
but
me.
McKay like
And I was like,
also told
okay,
her like,
girl,
girl,
but
you
like
gonna be a bad
that was
mom.
bound to happen.
Like when people are like, oh, it's so wrong that McKay told her not to keep it. I think we all know at least one person who's had a child because they wanted that child to love them. They needed love, and so they kept the baby because they're like, oh, now this is something that's always gonna love me. That's
And
not a
what
good
ended up
relationship.
happening is the complete opposite.
Mm.
Yeah. So McKay was right to tell her, girl, well, you can't have no kid. You in high school. And so, but this time I think she may keep it because they're graduating.
She better not get pregnant again. If she
I
get
pray
pregnant,
to God she
Sam.
does not.
But maybe Nate will trap her.
Nate would beat her up.
Oh,
Ooh,
wait.
He would.
That
Like
would stop.
he
That's
would.
like,
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
he
doubt that.
would.
I
He
you
don't
pray
doubt
would.
for
that
Did it go
if
that.
left?
she
Did it
said
go left, or is it just right?
I don't
You
doubt that if she said, "Oh, I'm pregnant, I'm keeping this," he would beat that shit out of her and it would be
I
like
so
think she
you
sad.
may
took a
tell
left
him. I
turn
think she
real
would tell him
fast.
like when it's like you can't get rid of it. Like
Like
after
that
the
took a left
how many
turn real
months?
fast for me though.
Like 6, I think,
5.
or
No, I
isn't it
think
like
maybe
3
about
months?
three. It said about
Actually,
Yeah.
my bad.
So she may
because
Mm-mm.
just keep it then, or like I don't know, girl.
I think after 3 months, I think you have to have like a funeral, or you have to find a
Not
way
a
to.
funeral.
Well, not you don't have
Your
to have a
funeral
funeral, but
shit.
you have to at least pay for cremation and actually go through that whole
This is not funny.
process.
Hey, please.
Well,
Hey.
hopefully that does
Ooh,
not
we
happen
gonna go
and
to
she
hell.
covers it up, you know?
I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
Wait. Listeners, we are not laughing at that. That is a serious, situation.
We're just uncomfortable, I
Yes.
think.
Right.
Oh man. Oh my god.
Anyway,
I just, Cassie girl. Now, one thing I don't like is the way people are slut shaming the character. I feel like we
Yeah.
shouldn't be slut shaming her. We shouldn't do stuff like that. But we need to
So I'm
somebody,
going to
not me,
slut shame you
needs to
because
pray
you
for
are
her.
having sex with your best friend's man. What
But
and
it's
and
not
three
even.
women.
It's not her
some people
man
say
no
some
more.
people think
Like,
that's whole shit. Some people think
Three
that's whole
weeks
shit.
Hashtag
and three
abuser.
days. That's
right?
some
It's not
hoe
her man no
shit.
more. They've
The
been
That's
fact
some
that
together
you
hoe
for
were
shit.
maybe a
counting,
month at this
no, if
point.
you know down to the day, that means you
That's
was waiting for us to
that's
bring
some
him. And
hoe
every
shit.
time I told you something about him, you were plotting, you
Are
dragging
we
me on
like
to it.
forgetting about how like teenage girls like remember dates and like time frames like it's fucking clockwork?
I don't know.
I feel like she calculated that after they had sex and was like, "How long has it been? Okay, so it's not
Right,
bad if
like
she
You
found
got
out."
your ass beat in
But
my school,
girl,
child. You ain't doing that.
Facts.
No,
You
when
Either
wasn't doing
way,
all that.
either
Well,
you
I
had
way.
a
yeah,
promise I
full
know.
fledged
somebody needs to. So
relationship,
she just needs to get curb stomped just once, and then
not curb
we
stomp.
we
He
we
needs to
go
get
to therapy,
dog walk.
some therapy,
Oh
A
my
and
dog
god!
then
walk.
but you girl,
But
you need to
I
stand up and take this ass whooping.
I'm scared
not
of
saying
Maddie
that.
though. I'm scared of Maddie because I feel
Yeah,
like
you
The
gonna
way
get that
she
You
ass
was
saw
whooped.
her
that
how she beat
locker,
them bitches up.
okay, the locker where she was
The
jamming the
way
locker
she
in that
slammed
girl's
that bitch
neck.
face into the window was sent me. I was
Into
like,
the
yes.
dryer.
see, I
Into the
underestimated
dryer.
Maddie till I seen that. I'm like, oh snap, she capable of that. Oh, Cassie, you better calm down.
I thought that the blonde girl getting slid into the dryer, I thought that it was a foreshadow in the next
Of
episode of
Cassie,
Cassie.
yes,
I was like, she got her.
I'm hoping. I'm just so hoping. I just
you
want her to
clutching my
get.
pearls, child.
I want her to get dish ragged and dog walked
Oh,
one good
this way. She
time.
already got the rag, so
Yeah, and then she can go to
Ah,
therapy, and
yeah.
and 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 because has he ever taken her out to dinner?
no, bitch. And that's the
Not
same
Take me
thing
out
we
to
need to
dinner,
start
Not even
letting
a
like
people.
Netflix and chill, honey. You just
It's
doing it.
giving very much.
swinging.
It's giving very much February 15th. It's
You
giving
know
very
he's
much
single.
February
not
Hold
15th.
February
on, let me tell you something.
15th.
When you take
You
your
Oh
bitch
my
out
god.
the next day.
you
He
know
didn't
he
even
hit her with
no.
that. What you about to do?
He didn't even have the common decency to do like we used to do in high school, where at least I foot the bill for a movie, and we in the back of the movie, and you riding it, like
I
it's
ain't
hot
came
in
for
the
none of
back of
that.
the movie. He
I
didn't
did not
even do
come for none of
that.
that.
But just
Uh,
it's
There are
sad that she
cameras
thinks
in
that
those
that's
movie theaters.
love. That she thinks that he loves her back.
That's good for her.
Oh, pray
Because
for
when you
her.
do bad things happen to you. You with
Oh
that
my
little best
god.
friend's man, sliding down the pole. I don't
Someone
feel
needs to
bad
pray
for
for
you.
her.
Mm.
free
Cause girl,
Cassie.
you
I'm
not
gonna
doing
say it
good.
again.
Not free. Once again, we can't free somebody that wants to be enslaved.
I
Yeah.
don't know what to tell you.
What
Like,
Harriet said, she said, "I can't free the slaves. Some if they don't know that they could go
be
free."
in
Harriet straight
bondage.
shot them. She straight
No,
shot them.
Harriet
Yes.
would shoot you. Listen, Harriet would tell you right, if you coming on this trip, either you go on with us or
Okay.
you dying. One of the two. Ain't no
Because you
option.
said them
They ain't
snitches
no,
like
look. And
You
one
either
thing
come,
about it. And one thing about
you
it.
either coming with us on this trip or you dying. Which one you doing? Because I just need to know.
I wanted to
oh my
have
god,
this conversation though because we had it on live with you guys,
Robin.
Harry and Jenny. Jenny, I said Jenny. My bad.
It's
Um,
okay. I was named after my grandma. Her name was Jenny,
Yeah,
but Jenna was more proper.
right. Anastasia, I'm not sure if you're kind of in on this, but this has been a conversation on TikTok for a minute, where this creator was talking about how the show kind of glamorizes child porn.
And
Oh, I
Anastasia,
know what video you're talking about.
I saw a video Anastasia made where she explained perfectly the need for it.
Oh, so you did talk about this?
The need for what?
Didn't you explain like people need to stop using the word glamorizing so freely and that that's not what's
Oh,
going on? Or
yeah,
did I
like
misinterpret?
okay, so essentially I was like, people don't okay, a lot of people conflate glamorization with endorsing. Just
Hmm.
when people say, "Oh, this glamorizes," doesn't mean it's okay. Like the
Yeah.
carousel scene, that's glamorization. Period. It makes getting high on Molly look fun.
Hmm.
Okay. And some of the other scenes look like glamorization, but does that mean endorsement? So some of y'all just use the word glamorization really fragrantly to say, oh, it's not glamorization, but it is because you think it means endorsing it. And so when they're talking about how I saw the video y'all talking about and how basically the creator was talking about how it's like pseudo child, like CSAC, essentially,
Hmm.
SA content of kids, and that the adults are like participating because they're playing children, doing all these things. Um, I see why people think that. I see why people think that, oh, it's too much, it's way too much because they are, um,
I think
I
to
think
me, go
like
ahead. I'm
because they
sorry.
are having sex, but I think the show wants everyone to suspend disbelief and not think they're kids and recognize that these actors are adults. And but I think maybe because Sam Levinson does just a little too much,
You do a little too much. Okay.
that it's a
I think it,
problem or
I think
just
no. I
uncomfortable.
think that if you are telling me, if I'm supposed to look at the art in its form, and you're telling me, I don't care if they are adults, but if you're telling me these are portrayals of children, then that's what I'm going to take it as. And I think a
Yeah,
lot of times it's just gratuitous. It's not even needed. Sometimes it doesn't even add to the scene. Like it's
yeah.
already provocative, even without you throwing a peen in my face. Like,
Because
we know where to go to
there are
see peen.
there are
So,
teen shows that
so
the
to
characters
me,
have sex.
Yeah.
Like
right,
on the
and they don't
CW and
show
things
a
like, but
peen.
we
Riverdale.
don't see it like we see it in this show where this show has no problem showing
Exactly. And
it.
so to
Yeah.
me, I think that's where people conflated to almost like an endorsement because it's just gratuitous. You're doing it because you can, which means that you are, perpetuating it,
Hmm.
and proliferating it just for no apparent reason.
And
Like
I
you don't
know,
Yeah.
want it to be
right.
there.
And I know we talked about it on live. I said I know her intentions weren't saying that the people that are viewing it are endorsing or they're, you
Yeah,
know,
that they're attracted to kids. It's just the fact that it's like, when do we separate the actor from the character and we look at them as 17, 16 year olds, and when
mhm.
do we realize that these are adults? And that's the problem because it is a TV show and so many people don't separate it. But when we're seeing them have sex, like with Cassie's like episode in the first season, how many fucking nudes we saw?
Mhm.
She had to take those and put them in the show. Like that's where it's just like, and
Or
and,
think
and
about
Cassie
it
had
like this.
braces and it was just too much. And it
Yeah.
was like,
Or think about somebody who came into this show and had never been introduced to these actors before and truly did not know the ages, or the
Yeah.
ages of the actual actors. So they were taking it at face value as if this is a depiction of teenagers. And
Mhm.
now, that truly is. You know what I'm saying?
But
yeah, I think,
I can also see a common like Euphoria fan that just loves the show because of the show and the dialogue and then just the story of it all, and look at those videos and be like, well, is there something wrong with me watching it? Like, you get what I'm saying? Because I kind of got that
yeah, I
same.
think one of my mutuals, Nene, she was talking about, she's like, well, sometimes these shows can be kind of like not healthy, but just like they can represent good and bad things that teenagers
Mhm.
do with sex, and teenagers can look at them to learn about sex in a way, not like educational, but just instead of watching the real, the hub, they
Mhm.
could be watching these shows. And I think sometimes, like, some scenes are effective. That scene with McKay and Cassie where he goes to choke her and she's like, I don't like that. Why would you think I'd like that? That's effective. The scene with Jules and Cal, that we need to see that. I did not need to see that.
I
The
think that
scene,
turned me off of this show. Like when I first started watching, I was like, I'm not watching this anymore because you got me
like
fucked up.
some of them make sense and then other ones don't. I
Mhm.
think a lot of people don't understand the show and a lot of people shouldn't be watching the show because they don't
Yes.
get it. The way people talk about Sydney Sweeney is a little weird.
It's
Like,
fucked up. Yeah.
I think the point of the show in these episodes is like sexualization is wrong, but then y'all do all these scenes with her naked. Not to say we should sexualize someone because she made that choice, not saying sexualization is good or that even if someone does something, oh, it's fine to sexualize them. But it feels like sometimes the show does talks up two sides of its mouth.
But it was like as an actress, it wasn't her
Yeah.
as a person because the way
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
sexualize her as a person and feel they could comment on her looks and critique. Because
because of
remember,
the
she was
show.
crying on live, like
Yeah,
everyone
because
said I'm
somebody,
ugly. Like that was foul to me. Like I felt so bad for her.
yeah,
Who
and
was
somebody
this?
edited her picture to make so that her boobs would be small. And like, I'm forcing y'all to look at her when she doesn't have big boobs. She's ugly, and had it trending on Twitter.
Oh wow. Sydney
And
Sweeney, that's Cassie, right?
yeah, and
Yeah,
then she
Okay.
literally made a live, and she's like, "So apparently y'all are saying I'm ugly."
Mm-hmm.
Literally,
and
she
she
was
was
like,
crying and
yeah, she was
everything.
crying. She's like, I'm a person. I'm here with my dog watching TV. Like, that's not okay. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, some of y'all in these
Euphoria
shows,
definitely
like,
has a toxic fandom. Well,
yeah,
let me not generalize because not because
some
we're
of y'all
fans.
don't need to be watching.
Yeah, some of them don't need to
You
Like,
watch.
bitches. That's like,
But
oh Nate, my man,
Yeah,
Nate,
yes,
bitch,
it's the
my
young
man,
bitches
ones.
need to
The
go to
young
school.
ones.
my.
It's,
But
I'll say like
I
this.
don't even think it's
I
age
think
because I'm
that
18. I don't
I
look at a
think
show like
that
oh
that.
you
wow.
do. I think that to a certain degree, just to play devil's advocate, you got to take the good with the bad. And I say that because you want there to be fandom and stardom that comes along with it, but you have to understand that that comes with pros and cons. I'll give you a perfect example on my YouTube channel. I have blank, blank, blank thousand subscribers. There are people who come on my live or may come in my comment section simply to just go in on me and talk about every imperfection.
And they
And
follow you.
and I have to. I've been had people stalk me in my DMs and comments and stuff like that. And I understand that when you open yourself to being in the public sphere where you're just putting yourself out there,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of you kind of got to take the good with the bad, and so you have to prepare yourself to say, let me separate that. I'm not going to internalize the fact that this fucktard over here
Mm-hmm.
thinks that I am that. I know that's not me. The people who know and care about me know that that's not me, and I'm just let that live over there because I understand that that comes with the
Mm-hmm.
territory and what I got going on ain't nowhere near. You know what I'm saying? The level that she has. So I think that that's something that should come. Like they say, people in this type of arena should always have a therapist because that comes with it.
Yeah.
Where you have to have somebody that can sit down and help you parse that out and say, hey, you got to understand that this is not just all, roses and candy.
And a
There
lot of
is
these
a
actors
dark
are
side.
new.
It's
They're
a
new,
very
She's
dark
and they're
side.
I
So
can't. Oh my
right,
god.
you got to
right.
be
They're
prepared to
new.
deal with that.
Right. They're new and they're becoming famous so fast. And I see a lot of that on the app that we kind of frequent. TikTok is over that. You see people that get a lot of views and numbers, and then like I see a lot of people get. Sometimes your post gets a little bit of flack for something, and then there's a lot of people in your comments cursing
Yep.
you out. That happened to me 2 times. I was a little pissed about it, and seeing other people talk the same thing, and everyone's like, "And it's crickets, cool," but
And the worst thing is when people, because this just happened to me, people who don't like you follow you and make like shitty comments every
yeah,
video. I'm like, why?
that is
Okay, what's the
so
point of that? That's so
weird.
weird. But I'm like, okay,
But
do
see,
what you do,
they,
sis.
they say when you find out about that, you got to block them because they're the ones that's getting your pages
That's reporting you.
deleted.
Yeah.
Oop, damn, oop.
I think she got a phone call or something.
Okay.
But yeah, those kind of people you do, I kind of like block those, people. Like, I'll block them from the channel. Block. I just don't have the energy to
Mhm.
Yeah.
because there are so many people that are there truly to see you and take in what you give, and you don't want to have that small minority affect what you give to the larger majority.
Right. All right. Oh, there you go. Whew. Yeah, I agree.
My call dropped. I don't know why.
Oh,
Oh, out of nowhere, we thought you had got a call or something.
yeah.
Do we all just agree that by the end of the season she's going to be sold to Pablo Escobar in Mexico?
Hell yeah. You gave $10,000 of drugs to a drug addict. You don't think she gonna do at least 5K that by herself in 3 days
Did
and
she give
probably
her a
lose it,
time
get it
limit?
stolen?
She gave her a month. She
30
said
days.
Okay,
you
a
re
month.
up.
Okay.
She said you re up in a month. But if if you don't have if you don't have my money, girl, I'm gonna
I
have you
just love
kidnapped.
how she's so nice and sweet about everything that she says. She's just so matter of fact, like, Okay,
Like,
I'm
girl, I'll
curious
really fuck
about
you up
it.
if you don't give me this
Yeah,
shit.
I'll fuck you up.
Okay.
I will sell you to some people.
But it's like it's crazy because it's like she immediately went home and did whatever. Like I don't know what it was that she did, but she put it like it was like you didn't even think about it. Like you immediately went and started doing drugs, and then you had the nerve to take the drug bag to your NA meeting. I was just sick. I was
I was
sick.
like,
Well,
girl,
Yeah.
my point in that is like no one in that bitch. This is a whole drug addicts meeting. Nobody in that bitch was like, this is a little suspicious. We got like a former,
I don't know that
junkie
I
in
would have
here
been
with.
suspicious about her carrying a briefcase because I just don't think that
It's not
anybody
a
would have thought
briefcase,
that she
babe.
would
It's
have
a
been
A
that
suitcase.
bold.
suitcase. That bitch had
Suitcase,
an
suitcase.
overnight
I mean
bag.
suitcase. I
And
don't
her
think. I
family
think
ain't
they
got
don't
money to go
believe that
around the
she would have been
corner.
as
So what do
bold
you have
enough
a
to do that.
suitcase for?
Hmm.
But I don't think that anybody thought that she would have been bold enough to be around here with a suitcase full of drugs. Like I just
Well,
don't.
maybe because I used to live in the Bay Area. I used to live like by San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland. They like carry shit like that. Like they'll put in the most random of shit, strollers,
Hmm.
like kids stuff, random backpacks, suitcases. Like they do that. So maybe I just think that. And as a Californian, and this is taking place in California, people do shit like that all the time. So no one, the gears wasn't turning for no one. Like, cause I would have been like, bitch, what's in the bag?
What's in that
Cause
bag?
Ali knew.
Hmm. Yeah.
And Ali was kind of like, but Ali better than me. I would have been gave up on her because I feel like if I was her sponsor, she would trigger me.
She's gonna relapse. Ali
No,
gonna
no,
relapse
if
because of
I was
her.
If he
Ali,
dies, I
he
You
swear
would
to
would
not.
God.
trigger me.
If he
You
dies, I
know,
swear to God, I'm like
But you know what? I
suing.
think that's going to drive Rue to like, and it's sad to say, but that usually happens. Like, it's going to like if he does die, if he relapses and dies, she's going to blame it on herself, and then she's going to try to do better.
Or she might spiral to hell.
I
Well,
don't think she gonna try and do better. Mm-mm. She might try for a week. She might really try for a good week.
Not a week. I'm crying.
That's all I'm giving
not a
her.
good week.
So we got
A
so we
good
got
week.
Elliot or Ali that's gonna die. Or
Oh, God.
Kat if she
I
I
really
think
don't
picks
want
Elliot's
up the
going to.
Elliot to
director.
die. I like Elliot. I do like. I don't even though I don't trust anybody with face tats. I do kind of like Elliot.
I feel like a lot, and I'm not saying you
I
because
don't
a
dislike
lot of people like
Elliot. I don't
Ellie.
know why so many people dislike Elliot.
Oh yeah, I don't dislike him. He's just not a regular, so he might be killed off.
I don't trust him. I just don't. I just don't trust him.
I feel like people are all like, I just don't like him coming up and fucking up Jules and Rue's relationship. They don't even have like a stable relationship. I can understand if
But they
their
don't.
relationship was
But
stable,
they
but it's not
do
even stable.
though.
Mm-mm.
They kind of
Uh,
do.
They don't.
you're alone
It's
on that
not.
one. No, they don't.
Prue
Jules
has
is forever.
only a
Jules is
steady
forever up in the
relationship
air.
with the
Jules
love.
falls in love with a new person every fucking
She
episode.
fell in love with a
Hmm.
rock.
Oh, not a
Right,
lot.
right.
If the rock treated her right. But
Hmm.
that's because she has a lot of like deeper issues like Cassie.
Uh-huh.
Cassie will fuck the wind and fall in love with the wind if it took her
Mm.
where she needed to go.
Pretty much.
Like,
Right.
I cannot. Oh my goodness. I think that's. I think we can stop here because we done went on an hour and 20 minutes. So I thought Anastasia was going to come back, but we're probably just going to end early. Not early, but this is late.
yeah.
Any final thoughts on the show before we head out?
I don't
I'm
want Maddie to get back with Nate. This ploy to get back with him
I,
and them previews from
I want to know.
next episode is wild to me. I'm like, why, girl? Why would you do this to yourself? You got out, like you were able to get out. Why are you doing this?
you sound like
I,
jail.
I
So you
want
got
to
out.
know. I want to know how Cal drove himself home because he had to have a full-on concussion. The
No, he
way
absolutely had a
he
concussion.
was banging him in the head and he was bleeding out.
Like,
How did he manage to drive? You saw him stumble into the truck. How did you drive home? Like you had to be concussed.
not
He probably
concussed.
needed some stitches.
I'm
Okay.
just
You
saying.
look like your damn son, child. Like father, like son. Look.
And then I just want them to be believable. I know they're far fetched and it's hyperbolic about everything about this show, but at least you got Rue over here really taking like hardcore stuff like not fitting at this point now, which you take just a little bit too much of that and you check it out going on the
Well, we
Google.
also know that Rue is like extremely smart. Like she
She ain't
kept
done too
herself
much.
from going into cardiac arrest with other drugs. So like, so we
But
know she's really smart.
this one, even for people who are professional drug users, as much as you can be a professional drug user.
Mhm.
But this even takes those people out. So I'm just real concerned that you gave a drug head, a crackhead, a beta, a whole suitcase full of drugs. And
Maybe she
when
wanted to catch her. She want. I know she
so
ain't gonna
you
let
gonna
her
tell me next episode she not gonna overdose again? Nobody's gonna find this in the house. Like Gia ain't gonna find it. Her mama ain't gonna find it. I mean,
Her
Gia
mom probably
might.
gonna find it, close the suitcase, be like, "I'm done with this bitch. I'm done with being bothered."
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then take her own
Gia
suitcase.
might find out, but I know her mama not because her mama's too stupid.
she
Her mom
is.
too stupid.
She is. She is though. I'll be like, girl.
Bruh.
Mm-mm.
Her
Like your
mama's very
child who's a
gullible.
known drug addict come in and talk about she, auditioning for Oklahoma. And what you got on? Nah,
And
dude.
what you got on?
Do you see what you got? Have you?
The only way that would correlate is if you went through the Oklahoma airport and kept it moving. Like
I'm dead.
God,
that's it.
Oklahoma is a country musical. Like, what are we doing, girl? What you got on?
Not James Bond. Anyway.
My thought, predicting because they're saying someone's gonna die. I didn't know how people got that from the trailer. But if anyone's gonna die, first they would kill off
It always looked like somebody gonna die in the
Elliot
reviews.
because he's not a regular, and maybe they don't want to pay Dominic Fike. They might kill off Ali to, impact Rue in some way.
Mm,
And I think that's it. I don't think that they would get rid of Rue. Rue, that bitch got my anxiety up for next episode, for the rest of the season, because I don't know what's gonna
yeah.
happen with that drug suitcase.
Seriously.
Right,
So
girl.
I definitely agree with all y'all final thoughts. I think we just need to, this was a really good this is one like I said, this is one of my favorite episodes of the season so far.
mm.
Very
I
entertaining.
almost overdosed when she opened that suitcase myself, and I was just watching. I'm
I
just
was
saying.
like, honey, I'm getting
Contact
a
high,
contact high, just some tea.
What
scream.
free?
Like, what is he talking about?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for listening to this show. We will be back next week to talk about episode 4. Can't wait to see you.